Assalamualaikum. I'm Biothania Niigata from Indonesia. I would like to present our research on water distribution and non-revenue water management scenario in Asian countries, Malaysian perspective, in International Professional Doctorate and Postgraduate Symposium 2021. The content included in this presentation will be introduction, and I will discuss more on the common issue faced by water distribution and non-revenue water in Malaysia. And last, this conclusion. Water is one of mankind's most valuable resources. Water not only used for drinking purpose, but also serve as main resort for economic, environmental activities, social, and cultural. Population explosion, rapid urban expansion, and economic growth are the reason why water demand in the world growing rapidly, especially Asia. And one of the biggest challenges faced by developing country is to ensure the country water security. One of the major threats to Malaysia water security is financial issue. Malaysia water sector can only collect a total revenue that barely covered the total expenditure of the sector from 1990 to 2000. Malaysia water sector has been running in loss since 2011 with average of 567 million Malaysian ringgit per annum. While in 2017, Malaysia water sector has a loss of 1,819 billion Malaysian ringgit per annum. The main cause of Malaysia water sector deficit is because low water tariff, as Malaysia has the cheapest domestic water tariff in Southeast Asia regions with only 0.13 US dollar per cubic meter for the first 20 cubic meter. Improving water supply services are crucial for ensuring a long-term water supply to provide a link between supply and demand. Since Malaysian independence in 1957, the infrastructure development in the water sector has increased in response to the rising domestic and commercial water demand. However, the infrastructure that have been developed over the last 50 years are dealing with degradation, resulting in higher maintenance costs, broken water pipes, and rise in RW levels as losses owing to outdated network pipelines were one of the main contributors to the high NRW rate. In 2019, pipe burst and pipe leakage account for 75% of NRW in Malaysia, as the existing pipeline system is more than 20 years of age. And at this moment, the existing pipelines are deteriorating and become extremely vulnerable. In 2017, the length of water pipelines and capacity of water treatment plant grew significantly, with the length of pipe was 100,052 and 121 kilometer, and the capacity of water treatment plant was 19,706 million per day. The significant increase of pipes caused the volume of water leakage increase. The water industry in Malaysia is divided into two sections, resource management and service supply. Among the service provided are water supply for recreational, hydropower, household, industrial, and agriculture, in which has the largest water demand in Malaysia. The water resources needed for this function are provided by the intertwined natural systems of lakes, wetlands, rivers, coastal reaches, and aquifers. Malaysia has had significant economic growth during the previous few decades. Water consumption is rising in tandem with population growth and the country's development. In Malaysia, water pollution is a major problem that has a significant impact on the long-term viability of water resources. 95% of the people in the country are consume tap water, in which 80% of the tap water provided are collected from the rivers. Polluted water has an impact on plants and living organisms. It significantly lowers total water availability since cleaning contaminated streams is highly expensive, and polluted waters are often unsuitable for human consumption. The vast amount of water resources available in the watershed are insufficient to feed all consumers due to river pollution. High ammoniacal nitrogen, and suspended solids, and biochemical oxygen demand are largely contributed to the Malaysia river's pollution. Wastewater from residential, commercial, and industrial sector has a terrible smell, especially when waste is present. They create storm water quality and pollute existing sewer system. Non-revenue water, or NRW, can be identified as the difference between the amount of water delivered through the water distribution system and the volume of water invoiced to the consumer. It involves water loss physically, such as leak of pipe and reservoir overflows. Water loss commercially through water tap and unrecorded water usage and other forms of unbilled water consumption or loss. High rate of non-revenue water raise the risk of water scarcity and negative impact on people, environment, and country economical state. On the other hand, a low rate of NRW indicates the capability of water supply system for serving consumers sustainable and profitable while also generating profits for water utilities efficiently. The average of Malaysian NRW rates is around 37% from year 2000 to 2010. The federal government made major policy statements regarding water in the 5-year Malaysian plan, in line with the spirits of the water vision, as shown in the table. In attempt to provide water security, the strategies are using a combination of water supply and demand control approaches. The current unusually cheap water rate will be increased to reflect the real cost of the water supply and service system when the tariff and billing system is reformed. This acts as just a technique for managing water demand, and it has a significant influence on water demand since customers will use less and conserve more. The goal of establishing a water demand management strategy is to decrease the consumption of treated water for non-potable purpose by utilizing alternate sources such as rainwater collecting, stormwater recycling, and treated wastewater. In conclusion, non-revenue water has been one of the major issues faced by water sector in Malaysia for so many years. Financial deficiency of the water sector, aging in the water infrastructure, and lack of public participation and knowledge are one of the common issues in reducing NRW rates in Malaysia. Water utilities are expected to be more active and be the key role in reducing non-revenue water rates. There is still room of improvement in public participation in RW management in Malaysia, and it requires contribution from all parts of the community to help reducing the NRW rates in Malaysia in order to achieve a sustainable water source management. Here are the list of all references included in this slide. And that's all for my presentation on water distribution and non-revenue water management scenario in Asian countries, Malaysian perspective. Thank you so much for your attention.